Have you ever considered the possibly uncomfortable truth that there is comfort in the struggle? There is comfort in staying where you are, even if staying where you are is really painful, especially when it comes to your relationship with food. There's always a hidden benefit to staying stuck where you are. And as long as you don't shine a light on what that hidden benefit is, as long as you don't pay attention to where that resistance and where that fear is coming from, then you will continue to feel like you are just pushing, having all of these goals, but then feeling stuck. So that's what we're talking about in today's episode, part 2 with Danya Douglas Hunt. Welcome to the Live Unrestricted podcast, a show where you'll learn how to heal your relationship with food and your body so that you can focus your time and energy on more important things like your personal growth. I'm your host, Sabrina Magna, food freedom coach, and my mission is to help make your life happier and healthier without stress, overwhelm, or guilt about food. If you love the show, please do go out and share it. And if you're looking for support with your relationship with food, details about my programs are in the show notes. Thanks for spending time with me today. Now let's jump in. Okay, welcome back. And I'm going to preface this right now that this is part 2 of a really, really special and powerful conversation with one of my coaches, Danya. And so if you haven't listened to last week's episode, please press pause on this one. You're going to be able to come back to it, but you will want to rewind to last week, listen to part 1, because a lot of the concepts that we talk about in this conversation build on part 1. And so in this conversation, we talk about something that most people don't shine a light on, and that is hidden resistance, hidden benefits around staying stuck, around staying in our current situation, whether it's your relationship with food, chronic dieting, binge eating, emotional eating, or if we go in other scopes, it could be an abusive relationship or poor health, poor habits. If you're a business owner, then it might be struggling in your business. This applies to everything. And so we're joined by Danya, who is really like a master mindset, subconscious reprogramming, nervous system guru. And I know that you guys loved last week's episode. So you are going to love this conversation, especially if you feel like you have this really deep, strong, powerful desire to have a healthy relationship with food, to heal your relationship with your body image, to feel more acceptance and confidence in your here and now body, because you recognize the effect that it has on all these different aspects of your life. Your self-esteem on a daily basis, your mood, how you interact with people, how you show up in the world, your job, your career, your relationships, right? Like whether it's with your partner or your kids or your friends, your relationship with food and your body impacts all aspects of your life. And so you probably have this really deep desire to heal it and to feel better. But maybe this has been an ongoing battle and struggle for you for years or even decades, and you don't know why you can't just leave this behind. Well, this conversation, this episode is going to give you so much clarity. So as always, I recommend that you take some notes, and I want to hear what your biggest takeaways were from this conversation. So without further ado, let's play part 2 of my conversation with Danya.
What I also will say too is your subconscious mind and your nervous system can feel sneaky, but when you're experiencing the fear, when you're experiencing like, okay, maybe you can shift into a higher frequency and you're like, okay, well, the version of me who makes a certain amount of money or has this type of relationship or whatever, how they think, how they feel, what would they decide, what would they stop doing? You're going to recognize that, let's call it old self, likes what it's doing. It's comfortable. Mm-hmm. And when we are not taking actions aligned with where we're going, where we want to go consciously, we have to look at it from there's some sort of benefit of me staying right here, right now. So Sabrina, it was cool for you because you're like, this last 6 months has been like fear on fire. And I can guarantee you it's because there's some sort of secondary benefit where your mind and body, whether you're conscious of it or not, sees it as a really good thing and wants to stay where it's staying. And it's actually getting some sort of pleasure or benefit. And I know people are like, what are you talking about, Danya? My bank account says zero. This is not fun for me. I don't want to stay here. And it's like, mm-hmm, there is.
Mm-hmm.
There's some benefit to staying in the quote unquote pain, the discomfort, because it's familiar with what you know. Because the version of us that's stepping into more money, better relationship with my body, that version of you has different beliefs, yes, different identity, yes. But also the version of us we currently are, maybe there's a fear of visibility. Maybe there's a fear of actually like getting too much attention. And if I
Mm-hmm.
suddenly look sexier or I feel however that's in my mind, now I'm going to get a bunch of attention. But for me as a kid, attention was a bad thing. It was bullying. It was me getting ostracized. It was me getting creeped on by creepy men. And so there's usually always a beautiful shadow, sneaky, subtle subconscious benefit for you not moving forward into your higher self. And so
Well,
when you're
I
taking
just want to
action,
pause you and I want to give
yeah,
you a really actionable example because I was actually having a
beautiful.
conversation with one of my private clients yesterday on the topic
Mhm.
of emotional eating, which is
Yeah.
this big thing that she's really like, and the awareness there was so beautiful because she's like,
Yep.
this is like that one piece that I know when I can unlock it, everything's going to change. And yet I'm feeling so much resistance to it. And I'm sure that
Mhm.
a lot of you listeners have felt that where you're like, I have been turning to food when I'm stressed, when I'm anxious, when I'm overwhelmed
Yeah.
for years, decades, my entire life. I hate this. It's ruining my life. It's ruining my health. It's ruining my physical health, my mental health, my relationships. I don't want this anymore. And then when you really stop, and I asked my client, I said, can you tell me what your brain is imagining will happen when you no longer are turning to food to cope? And then
Mhm.
she was so aware and she said, well, I'm just going to live in constant anxiety and depression 24/7. I'm not going to have any other ways, any other escapes, any other modes of translating those emotions. And I just had to pause and I said, beautiful. So now you see where you're getting stuck. And also, let's bring some awareness to the fact that this is what a lot of people get wrong is they think I'm just going to stop emotional eating, but we're actually doing something different here. We're building all these other skills and tools, but your brain can't see that because your
Yeah.
brain is going to go to the worst case scenario. It's going to, like you said, that negativity bias. And
Mhm.
so there is a benefit for you there. And this is something that I know that a lot of you are going to be able to relate to. So asking yourself the question of like, is there maybe part of me that is benefiting from where I am right now?
Totally. And I understand because we're talking every situation. We're talking if you're in an abusive relationship, we're talking if you're in debt, we're talking if you're making millions of dollars, we're talking whatever the situation is. There's always some, and it's not the conscious benefit. It's always going to be somewhere keeping you to what you know or what you have learned or what you have defined as something or past experience. And when you can begin to uncover what that might be, working with a coach to help you facilitate that, or even just ask, like, weird, like I'm noticing the same pattern coming up. What could this mean? What could this be? Not from the lens of like, what am I choosing? Because it's not a choice. It's a bunch of these things we've learned or been passed down and witnessed. And now my brain's just made a bunch of definitions. But the beautiful thing is when you're witnessing the resistance, when you're witnessing the fear, when you're witnessing the frustration of like, I want this, but this, that's a sign for you, like the gas on your dashboard, put gas in the car. Okay, cool. So that's a sign just to pause. And even if you're like not sure what to ask, do the ABC thing to get the ball rolling, or just start journaling and writing down like what could I be making this mean? Okay, I'm not making it mean anything, Danya. What could my subconscious be interpreting or making it mean? Like not me, but something to just to begin to peel back the awareness of it. Because going back to Olympic athletes, it's not the strategy in action. That's a part of it. Law of action. We live in a 3D world. It's required. But what actually creates the bigger shifts in your business and what actually is behind the actions you take or don't take is all the 80% of what we're talking about today. So I know your listeners can follow a food plan. They can do those things. Their experience of it is going to be drastically different. Maybe it's enjoyable. Maybe it's hell. Maybe it's all these things. And then we get into these patterns of falling back to what we know or what we were. And it's not this experience of feeling light and easy and just that's how you do things. It's also not this experience of relapsing and going back to what you used to be. And so it's just shifting, taking responsibility, but shifting the ownership of like, well, what's actually creating that behind the action of not taking action? What could that be? Because I don't know about you, like I don't want anyone to be in a place where life is feeling heavy or pressure or stressful or hard. It doesn't have to be. It's just our old ways of neural wiring in the brain, subconscious patterns that are causing it to run a program, feel this way, do this. Again, not because you're a bad person, not because there's anything wrong with you. It's simply like, look at it like running a program. Brushing your teeth is a program, driving a car is a program. And when you're learning how to rewire those patterns, there can be definitely quick, you do subconscious programming, yes. But when you're doing conscious awareness of inventory of like, how did I feel today? Went well? Why? What didn't go well and why? You can begin to peel back. What is the program running in the background that I'm wasn't aware of, but I'm now becoming aware of? How can I start shifting that? So that my experience of this journey of life is one that's I'm enjoying. It's not one of pressure and stress and heaviness and feeling up and down. And it's more of that train of thought versus people feeling trapped or like they have to settle or they're sacrificing or it's hard. It doesn't have to be any of that. Despite whatever the goal is, like you can shift your experience of it completely.
Yeah. And I think that the biggest mistakes that I used to make, and I know that a lot of people make, is we set these goals and we're like, I have this desire, I have this conscious goal. And if I just focus on the goal, if I just want it hard enough and I think about it and I journal on it and I meditate on it and I visualize it, then it's gonna come true. And I would completely ignore the resistance that I would feel in my heart when I would think about the goal. And I would say it really only happened about a year ago that I realized I was sitting and I was doing like a meditation and I felt this heaviness on my heart when I was thinking about my goal. And I was like, let me tune in to that heaviness. Let me tune into that resistance because I don't feel 100% aligned with this, which doesn't make sense because I've been wanting this. It's gonna make my life better. So why is there resistance here? And not paying attention to that fear, not paying attention to that resistance, you're signing yourself up to just work hard, struggle, push, and feel like you're maybe making a little bit of progress, maybe, but it feels really slow. It feels really hard. And it doesn't really expand your life in the way that you want it to. And so every time I would feel that resistance now, I put my hand on my heart. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. Like, I'm definitely not perfect because sometimes I don't know what I'm afraid of. And sometimes it takes me weeks to even figure out what I'm afraid of. I used to be afraid of making more money because I thought that Luke would leave me. I actually had to have a conversation with him. And I was like, Luke, I'm really scared that if I become more successful, you will not want to be with me anymore.
Yeah.
And oftentimes the fears that we have aren't even rooted in evidence. They're not rooted in facts. And so I had a conversation with him. I felt so much lighter afterwards. But sitting down, putting my hand on my heart and just asking, what am I afraid of? So if you're someone who wants to have a healthy relationship with food, maybe you've dieted and struggled with restriction and guilt and shame and overeating most of your life, and you're like, it would change my life to have a healthy relationship with food, but it feels like there's resistance there, don't ignore that resistance. If you don't shine a light on it, it will continue to be there. It will continue to block you. Put a hand on your heart if you need to. Take a few deep breaths and ask yourself, what am I afraid of might happen if I actually do heal my relationship with food? If food is no longer this thing that I think about 24/7, because there is that right there is going to be your hidden benefit of what's holding you back.
Totally. Yeah. It's so beautiful because we resort to just take more action, just try harder, more strategies. Like it's very rarely any of that. Yes, actions required, strategies required. Yes. But it's more so getting curious. And you can write this question down, getting a pulse check of like, where am I at in my frequency? Am I operating out of fear, scarcity, lack, or am I operating out of like fulfillment, overflow, abundance? Is before you take any action, just ask, what's the intention behind this action? It could be like, what's the intention before I'm about to eat this? Oh, I'm feeling bored, so I'm just feeling that need. Or I'm feeling emotional and I want to, have some comfort here. Or what's the intention behind this phone call with my mom? Okay, is it just going into like battle or is it to cause connection? What's the intention behind this offer? What's the intention behind signing up to this coach? Whatever it is, it just gives you a little bit of a pulse check. And you're like, I don't know what the freaking pulse check is yet. Don't worry about it. It's just like anything. When you practice something, you suck at first. You're not meant to be good. Go back to when you learn how to drive a car. Stressful AF. But now you just drive a car. Why? Because your body and mind understand, okay, enough intention and attention, because law of focus, wherever you put your attention, energy goes and it expands, that comes more in your life. it's just going to create a habit over time. It's just going to create a neural pathway where it's like, okay, I'm in the car, run the program. I'm in the kitchen, run the program. I'm in the office, run the program. When you can begin to pause and say, I'm just curious, like, what is the intention behind this action? Oftentimes, what I find with very self-aware, high-level entrepreneurs is they don't actually need to take that action. It's something totally different. It's either on autopilot, it's out of fear, it's out of proving, it's out of like my self-worth. It's nothing to actually do that's going to help the business. And oftentimes they don't actually need to take that action. They need to either delegate it, automate it, delete it, expand it. It's not actually the action that's aligned for their higher self and where they're going and their goals. So if you can just start doing a pulse check with that, what's the intention
Mm-hmm.
behind this? And ask them, like, okay. And if you're like, I don't know, I just feel heavy or like shit, or I feel whatever it is, that's still giving you clues to understand yourself better. Again, to align you back with your highest self, your soul's path, your aligned path, not what we think we should be doing, et cetera. It's you. And at the end of the day, you always have your answers. You know what to do. It's just now
Yeah.
having people help facilitate that and catch your blind spots where you're unaware of how you might say something, or like that's a big thing for me. Someone will come to me and it's like, you don't actually mean that. Or like, you said this, but your frequency is actually here when you said it. So let's unpack that, because I know you want this, but it's not actually what it's
Yeah.
really experienced before.
And we all
But
have
just do a
blind
pulse check.
spots. We all
Everyone.
have those blind spots. And you've touched on so many topics that I'm so glad you did, because these are topics that I talk about with my clients too.
Beautiful.
And the topic of intention is so important because, as you said before, sometimes when you tap into your attention, you're like, maybe that's not actually the action I need to be taking. But also, what you might notice is changing the intention of the same action is going to completely change your experience of it. This is
Yeah.
something I talk about with my clients of, you could have the exact same action. One person who is choosing to eat the salad for lunch because she is coming from a place of fear and restriction and thinking this is what I quote unquote should be doing. And that is just going to fuel a unhealthy and restrictive relationship with food. Whereas you might find me who chooses to eat a salad for lunch because I'm like, this is going to make me feel so good. I'm going to feel energized. I love eating these fresh foods. It's going to make me feel productive and focused. And that's going to fuel this healthy relationship with food and my body. And so, even in the actions that you take around food, asking yourself, what is my intention here? And is there a way for me to shift it in order to look at a different way of seeing this action?
Yeah. And then it's also going to create what you tapped on, the experience of it. And like so much right now of us experiencing life is not actually how it needs to be or it has to be. Like you
Mhm.
can experience, you can do the exact same action and have a completely different experience of it. And if anything, you just feel a lot better and you enjoy life a lot more because you're like, wait a second, making money doesn't have to feel heavy or pressure or stressful. Eating healthy food doesn't have to feel this way. You can, again, find what works for you, define life on your terms, by your definitions, by your meanings, by your actions, not by what we think we have to do or should do. And like pressure language, it just shuts everything down. So,
Yeah.
um, so beautiful.
Oh my God. Could talk for hours, but if you had to, like, we touched on so many things, and I really hope that anyone who's listening to this, listen to it again. Like, truly listen to it 3 times, 4 times, take some notes. But any takeaways that you really want our community to be able to implement and start seeing things differently, shifting things in their life so that they can create those massive shifts and get unstuck.
Yeah, I think if you can even just begin to recognize the fear or the fight or flight response is actually like the most beautiful orchestration of your body trying to prove you right and keep you safe, instead of seeing it as like, oh, it's working against me again, or anything is like bad or good. Nothing has any meaning except when you give stuff. So if you can even just pause and recognize, okay, I am being the observer of my experience right now. I'm not the thinker of my thoughts, I'm the observer of my thoughts, right? That goes back to, let's use a quick example here of like, if you weren't to say it out loud, but you say hello in your mind, you're the person who said hello, but also you're the person who listened to the hello. And so for so many of us, we're so like, this is my life and I'm stuck in this and this is how it has to be. But actually, you not only are the creator, the writer, the director, the actor, you get to observe it. So I always want people to have more fun. I know we've had calls and you've seen me coach people where I'm like launch free fall and it's stressing the fuck out. And my biggest thing is like, can you just have a bit more fun? Like, let's change your experience of it. So it's one, just beginning to expand the awareness even further of when you feel the activation or the trigger in the mind or the body, see it for like, okay, first have the normal freak out, tantrum, release emotions, yes, but see it for what it actually is. It's just your body trying to tell you something. And if you can get curious and compassionate, like it's like your 5-year-old self just trying to like pull on your t-shirt, hey, I'm trying to tell you something, or I'm really scared, or just to begin to see that part of it differently is going to expand things differently. And then apply what we talked about, the ABC, the intention, just questioning everything and really ask if, is this my life on my terms? Or is it just because I think, oh, I think I'm going to feel better when I look a certain way or make a certain amount of money. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to say right now, when you get what you actually want, if it's coming from a place of lack, scarcity, fear, it's never going to take that feeling away.
Mm-hmm.
So can we get to the feeling before we even get the thing and recognize how much of your goals or intentions might actually change just from shifting? Well, wait a second. I can access that now. How would that feel if I got the thing now? Would it really change anything? And oftentimes it's not. It's like, oh, I thought all that money would make me happy. And now I'm still miserable and actually more miserable because now I'm depressed because I thought this was going to be the thing that fixed it. No, your
Yeah.
body's
And
trying to tell you stuff.
I'm so glad that you just reiterated challenge everything because my entire life started to change when I started to challenge things. It was 2018. And I remember getting to a point where I was like, I've lost all this weight. I'm smaller and more unhealthy than I've ever been. I thought
Mm-hmm.
that I would be confident at this point. I thought that I would feel loved at this point. My definition of success is not panning out the way that I thought that it would. So
Yeah.
something needs to change here. And then I started challenging everything. And don't be surprised if some things in your life change when you start challenging things. Things
Well,
become
they
more in
will.
alignment. Yeah.
They will be ready for, I think, not to end on a poo-poo note, but
I know
I think
exactly what you're going to say.
the alignment Armageddon thing, like most people are like, oh, aligning is like rainbows and butterflies. No, no, bitch. Aligning is Armageddon. You are deconstructing all these old paradigms that are not yours, that you recognize, I don't even like this thing. What the heck? Why am I doing this in the best way possible? But I think people are like, oh, it feels really nice and easy to. No, when you actually align to your soul path and your highest timeline and what's true for you, it's not a bad thing. It's the things rearranging to align for that. But that also
Mm-hmm.
means things that are done a certain way, people, places, things, friendships, whatever, are going to change too.
Mm-hmm.
But to create space for what's more aligned to come in. So we can look at the deconstruction as like a bad thing, like, but actually, hold on. This is what my experience of this thing was right now. What if there's something better? A friendship that's even deeper than this. Like my
Mm-hmm.
soul friends now, I couldn't even comprehend having friendships like I have now, true
Yeah.
friendships. And it took me till my 30s to find them. And in the beginning, when you're aligning, the friendships are kind of falling out and you're like, oh my God, I'm so alone. But then you're recognizing, no, because you're aligning to your true self and what matters to you and you're questioning everything. And then you find
Mm-hmm.
friendships that are deeper than you ever could have imagined. And like, had I not done that or challenged and let the paradigms go, I wouldn't be where I am right now. So again, it's just seeing how you're choosing to see stuff. But I would say the biggest misconception I hear is like alignment is rainbows and butterflies. No,
It's so
bitch. No,
fun.
it's not. It's
It's not.
Armageddon in the best way possible. But to align you to a life that's richer and deeper and more meaningful and more enjoyable than you ever
So
could
worth it.
imagine. But in order to get
So
there, you
worth
can't
it.
just hop and skip there. It's like you gotta let go of things that aren't yours.
Yeah.
Your little teddy bear, you just gotta, but then you get a bigger teddy bear. You get, that's even more rich you can ever imagine. And
Yeah.
that's always the goal.
And the more you do it, the more you get evidence of that notion that you have to make space for something better. And like when I was in Sedona in December after BBD Live, I had this, of course, Sedona will really make you question everything and everyone in your life.
Yeah.
And I remember having this like realization of, oh, this friendship is no longer in alignment. I think this needs to shed. And it did. And then literally within a month, a soul aligned, what I would now call one of my best friends came into my life. And
Yeah.
so it really just, it comes with jumping and hoping, like James would say, that the net will appear, because over time, the more you have evidence that you can trust yourself and you can trust the universe to provide, you're going to know that, okay, it's just a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
This was so fun. Where can people find you?
Everywhere is just my name. So Danya Douglas Hunt on Instagram. There's resources. My podcast is there. Podcast is Play Bigger. I
Mm-hmm.
just launched a money frequency quiz, which is really fun because I'm getting a lot of DMs of like, what the F? I'm like, yep, great. This is what we want. As in like, ugh. So anywhere you can just send me DM or ask me questions, or
Tell
just
her
my
that you
name
listen to
everywhere.
her on this podcast. I love when
Yeah.
people get DMs and they just like, I love when you contact our guests. And so absolutely go follow her. She's freaking amazing, as you can hear from today's episode. So thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for
And
having me.
I love you so much.
You too, friend. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you found it valuable, I would love if you would share it with someone you know that could benefit. If you're loving the show, don't forget to subscribe over on Apple Podcasts so you don't miss a single episode. I really love hearing feedback from you, so please leave a rating and review over on Apple to help us get in the ears of more people who need it the most. Finally, come hang out with me on Instagram at Sabrina Magnan Health for more educational content and get up close and personal with me. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode.